These are 20 random facts about Genshin Impact that'll make Natlan come faster. Let's begin. Did you know Ayaka was actually playable before the game even came out? Well, if you take a look at some old beta test footage of Genshin, you can actually see her, of course, being playable, but also with a whole different set of animations. Just look at this awesome plunge move. I wish they kept that in the game. While we're on the topic of Genshin's older versions, did you know that the resin cap used to be way lower than 200? All the way back in version 1.0, the resin cap used to max out at only 120. This cap was luckily increased a version later to 160, and then it only took another 4 years for them to increase it again to 200. Even though Ayato is one of my least favorite Genshin characters, I've gotta hand it to him, he is a man of many talents, especially when it comes to weapons. According to one of the NPCs in the Kimura Tea House, Ayato is not only excellent at using his sword, but he's also great at using his polearm as well. I guess I wouldn't recommend double-crossing Ayato, or you might find yourself with a black eye. Capitano is going to be the harbinger we encounter and have to deal with in Natlan. Considering this, we know almost nothing about him. Well, one thing we at least do know is that Capitano is not a ghost in a suit of armor. Because if we zoom in on his mask in the Natlan trailer, we can actually see the outline of his face. At least we now know we won't be fighting a ghost. But even if we were, I'd just bring Hu Tao. She could probably just deal with that pretty easily. With Natlan now releasing, we now know what every vision casing looks like. Personally, my favorite casing is from Snezhnaya. The spikes on the side of it are just super cool to me. What's your favorite vision casing? Make sure you let me know in the comments down below. Nahida probably has the most official titles out of every character in the game. We of course have Nahida, then God of Wisdom, and on top of that we have Lesser Lord Kusanali. Her god title in China is also different. There, she is referred to as the God of Flowers. You know, now I'm starting to wonder, which title or name does she use on her driver's license? Did you know Yao Yao was mentioned on the Wangshu bulletin board all the way back in version 1.0? In her message, she talks about how the owner of the inn has to stop putting chilies in Ganyu's food because she has a sensitive stomach. It's funny, because even before Yao Yao made it into the game, she was still supporting our favorite goat archer. Have you ever heard of the Fatui wheel theory? Basically, this theory suggests we will fight the Fatui Harbingers in order of this wheel, and honestly, it really makes sense. First, we fought Child, then Signora, followed by Scar and Sumru, and then Arlecchino in Fontaine. So according to this wheel, Columbina will be the next Harbinger we fight in Natlan. Considering no Capitano is all but confirmed for Natlan, it'll be interesting to see if this theory holds up. Have you ever wondered why Freminet always seems to be so quiet and emotionally distant? Well, during his youngin' days, he taught himself to suppress his emotions. That way he could carry out his Fatui missions more easily. This fact also ties into the reason he loves diving so much. While he's under the water, he can escape his stress and also express his feelings freely. Poor Fremy. You know, I think if we can all scrounge up some more, we can get our sad boy into some therapy because I feel like he needs to start decompartmentalizing. Congratulations! You've officially made it halfway through all the facts. If you're enjoying them so far, make sure you subscribe because it lets me know you want to see more content like this. Thanks! I feel like so many people forget about the Numa and Osa mechanics in Fontaine, including Hoyoverse, but you know what, that's a whole separate point. Anyway, did you know you can use Numa and or Osa to disable Coppelius, depending on what alignment they are? I don't know about y'all, but using this trick made clearing that boss so much easier. I guess this fact really makes sense when you think about it, but Navia does have a last name. What is it? It's Casper. Simple, but very stylish. Kinda like Taylor Swift. Oh, I mean Navia. Since we're on the topic of Navia, I feel like we gotta talk about her partner in crime, Clorinde. Considering she is Fontaine's champion duelist, I guess it should come as no surprise that the press keeps harassing her and writing fake news stories about her. It's getting so bad she's thinking of filing a lawsuit against all these news agencies. In the immortal words of a controversial politician, I guess it's fake news. Whenever Sethos gets bored, he'll wander into the great unknown to look for some entertainment. Apparently, he'll do this regardless of what the weather is like outside, so let's just hope he doesn't get caught in a storm and struck by lightning, because I think that would make Scara pretty mad, and for more than one reason. Have you ever wondered what this heart locket does on Sigewinne? Well, every time she gets hurt and knocked back, the hand on the clock will move from the heart to the heartbreak symbol. It's such a small, hard to notice detail, but it's pretty damn cool in my opinion. At the time of this video's release, Shenna hasn't gotten a rerun since April 11th, 2023. That's around over a year and a half ago. But surprisingly, that's not the worst part about all this. Honkai's Star Rail released on April 26, 2023, which means Shenna hasn't gotten a rerun since Star Rail came out. How is that even possible? I honestly feel bad for all those Shenhe watchers because damn, this is just sad and crazy. Did you know Shanyun actually keeps a lot of her design elements between her human form and her crane form? For this specific fact, we're gonna focus on her fingers because they are actually taloned just like the claws in her crane form. One self thinks that this fact is quite interesting. Apparently, this weapon has a name, and its name is Joel. Why does this random event weapon have a name? Who knows, but I kinda like it. You know, this kinda makes me wonder if that weapon's alive. But if we were just swinging around an alive fish, that would be kinda morbid. Did you know there's a hidden meaning behind the name the Millilith? Apparently, the name is broken down into two parts like this. Their separate meanings translate to 1,000 rocks. I definitely wouldn't want to fight an army that's called 1,000 rocks. So, good job on the name, guys. It is very intimidating. Natlan is set to release on August 28th, 2024, which means from the time of this recording, we are only a couple more weeks away until we finally get to go explore the land of war and dragons. And there we have it, everyone. Those were 20 random facts about Genshin that shortened your wait for Natlan by just a few minutes. If you enjoyed today's facts, be sure to check out some other fact videos on your screen now. As always, thank you to all my channel members, including PegZ_D, for joining the highest tier. That's all for me today, and I will see y'all later.